Okay, so just getting started here on the Camaro, and I'm contemplating gluing on the front and the rear clip because this definitely has a skirt tucking in there, ground effects. And if you remember what happened on a Thunderbird build, I had installed those skirts and then I couldn't get the pan on. So I'll glue on the back and see how well that's going to look for installing the front before, because it's just so nice to have it all together when you're painting. And the instructions are showing to do that, but that of course doesn't mean anything. But that's where I'm at. I've cleaned up the body pretty well, and I'll clean it up the rest of the way. And now we're looking at the chrome tree. We're going to definitely strip the wheels because they are not really even. Okay, so taking a look at the box, they were not chrome wheels. They were silverish alloy type wheels, and that's what I want to go with. So we're going to strip the chrome off of those and paint them probably silver. And same thing, we're going to, for this whole chrome tree here, we're just going to pull off. These are the rear taillight bezels there. And I know they look terrible. Everything, all this chrome looks terrible. There's something on it. But that is, the rear ones are really just for reflectivity because they are going to have the lenses over them. And then the front ones, I may have to turn this over. Where did they go? Yeah, there they are. They are really just, you're only looking at the outer rim of those. So we're going to leave those chrome and see how well that looks, because that can just be stripped just by hand if need be. And the rest of the stuff, the intake, the alternator, of course, are not chrome anyway. And look at those mirrors. These are the side view mirrors. Look at the sinkholes on those. I'm going to go ahead and throw those in the strip tank too, and we're going to have to fill those, and then we'll just cover them with some bare metal foil. Wow, that's a bad sinkhole there. Anyway, so that's where we're at. We're going to, next scene, these things should be stripped, and we'll see how the body looks with the pieces on there. Okay, so here's a look at the progress. I have glued the rear clip on and popped the chassis pan under there and tucked it in the way you normally would on a regular kit. It was a little bit of a challenge to get the sides in, but it did shoot horn in, and now the front is not clipped on yet, or not the front clip is not glued on yet. But looking at the way it's going to, it looks as though it's going to pretty much mount flush once it's attached to the chassis there. Seems to be about where it goes. And so that is making me think I can glue that on. So I'm going to glue that on so we can paint the body all at once. And in other news, these things here, remember these? On the unboxing, I was looking at those, trying to figure out what they are. Well, what they are is the rear wing sits up there, which is going to present a painting challenge. You almost want to glue that on afterwards, and I think I probably will. But that is a rear wing. Now, why do you have two of them? Well, you got to look up really, really close. So let's look up really, really close. This seems to be the standard one, and I'm looking at this angle on purpose. And then this seems to be the SS one. You can see there's a tiny little lip at the end there. See there? And that seems to be, this parts tree here seems to be the SS additional parts, the bonus parts tree, aside from the hood there, the SS hood. And that is the tiny little difference between the two rear wings, is that little tiny lip there. And so I've got to remember to put the right one on, not this one. There's a There's a tiny little, maybe there's a tiny little lip on the standard one. Maybe there isn't, maybe there isn't. But I don't think there is. But it's not as pronounced as this one. Anyway, moving on. Alrighty, so I've got a few things mocked up here. Well, sort of mocked up. I've glued the front clip on now so that we can work with it. And there is the SS hood is on there now. It does have the whole engine and everything like that, so this is going to be an openable hood. And I've put the correct rear wing on there. This one's back. And it is not glued on there, and in fact it just can't be glued on there to any chance at all to get the paint onto the deck lid. It means that this is going to have to be painted before the wing goes on, and then the wing painted separately and the hood painted separately, and then they'll go on later. That's the only way to do it. And I haven't really decided on a color. Certainly the blue looks good, the red looks good, but I haven't made that decision yet. Don't know what we're gonna do. I think at this point, now here's a look at the chrome tree that we completely stripped there. Here's a good look at the wheels, which we will eventually paint silver, and the other parts that just weren't supposed to be chrome. And I think what we'll do now is we'll do a basic mock-up. I'll put the wheels in the tires and try to find the wheel backs and see how much we can mock this up to get a peek at its stance. Okay, here we go. It might be a little bit low in the back end. I just kind of got it propped up there. Maybe a little low in the front end too, but it is a basic look at it, and I'm really liking it. Something I just noticed is that there is no top. No top comes with this kit, so it's a convertible option only, which is no problem with me. I very rarely put the tops on the convertibles. And there's the first look at it. I'm really liking it. And you know what? I was thinking, as I was looking at the overall size of this being 1/20th scale, it occurred to me, as much as I have a bunch of the 1/20th scale kits, I don't think I've ever built one. Really gonna have to think. There's nothing in the case. I don't think that I got any 1/20th scale. So I'm liking the scale, and I think I'm going to probably lean towards building more of them soon. Anyway, something else I wanted to show in the instructions. If you remember, there was that one piece right there, and I'll locate it somewhere on one of these sprues. That one right there, that big long one, looks like a girder next to the drive shaft. I'm going to admit I don't know what it is, and that's what I was saying when I was doing the unboxing, is that I didn't know what it was, but it, attaches to, gotta be some kind of an anti-sway or anti-hop type of stabilization. Interesting that it's there, and I don't know if it's an SS option or if it was standard on all the Camaros, but it's certainly a curiosity. And let's see if we can find that part. I've got the second level down here. Ooh, where is it? Can't seem to easily find it. Maybe it's no, I've lost it. But you get the idea. That piece there. Just wanted to mention that I found where it goes. And really excited to start working on the chassis and the engine and the drivetrain. And that will be coming up in the next episode, along with some more body prep, because as I had mentioned on the unboxing, we've got some sinkholes, especially on that wing. Can't seem to find the right angle to show, but I got some filling to do. And so we'll find the putty and we'll get started on that, but I just wanted to show the basic mock-up. And there it is. Thanks for watching. Look forward to the next episode, and have a good one.